from multiple locations via the miracle of Skype. It's the LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing. Co-host, Ed Kaluka. Featuring dangerous Dan Margetta. And Brian Schmidt. LTN is a caller-driven program, and your participation is encouraged by calling 414-421-7901. That's 414-421-7901. Now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
And welcome to the program. We're glad you could join us. I'm coming to you live from the scoring tower at Dell's Raceway Park, where they are nice enough to allow me to use their Wi-Fi. Glad you could join us, joined by my three partners, beginning with Ed Kaluka of West Bend, Wisconsin. Morning, Ed.
Good morning. It was fun watching get the pole last night and then head to Knoxville to try and win another one, but that didn't work out.
Dan Margetta of St. Francis, Wisconsin. Hey, Dan.
Hey, good morning. I was at Dell's last night for a super late model race and ready to watch Richmond today, and I still can't. This race belongs on Saturday night to me for some reason. I know they moved it to Sunday afternoon, but Richmond was always a Saturday night race.
Seems like it was, that's for sure. And, of course, that's because it's a short track, and I think that makes a big difference. Brian Schmidt of Oostburg, Wisconsin. Were you at a dirt track or watching a dirt track last night?
No, well, I was at a family function, and then I got home in time to watch a dirt track to see Donnie Schatz win his 11th Knoxville Nationals and his first in, it's been a while since he's won it. So interesting to see because he'd been kind of struggling, picked up a win a couple weeks ago, and it looks like Tony Stewart has that Ford engine in the sprint car humming now, so look out.
Ford. Wait a minute. We got Fords from Tony Stewart. We got Dodges from Tony Stewart. He was supposed to make some big announcement this week. Did you guys catch that? The big announcement was, I don't even know how that works. It's that digital, whatever the crap. What do you call it? NFTs?
Non-fungible tokens, stuff that apparently doesn't exist but you can buy. I don't know. I don't get it either.
Oh, good, because I was hoping you could explain it to me. Someone already has. But that's all right. Sometimes I just don't retain things I don't understand. Isn't that right, Ed?
Mm-hmm.
Ed made reference to the truck race last night. Ty Majeski won the pole for the thing, ended up third overall. Chandler Smith was your winner. Ed, I saw it until the first segment was complete, and then I came over here to Dell's Raceway Park for their super late race last night. What did I miss? Anyway, what happened to Ty?
Yeah, he had a perfect truck for the first segment, led every lap, won it by 4 seconds, lapped all the way up to the 16th car. Jeez. Then he made a pit stop, and a jackman fell down in front of the truck, and he put a bad setup under him and went back out. Went from first to third on the pit stop. But then the truck didn't handle the rest of the night, burned off the right rear. And in the last segment, for some unknown reason, he started Joe Shear Jr. started the truck down on tire pressure. With 30 laps to go, you'd pump your tires up for that short run. He didn't do that, and he ended up struggling the rest of the way.
Huh. Stuff like that happens when guys fall down. Just not a lot. As dominant as that truck was in that first segment, he just couldn't pass anybody?
No, he whatever changes that Joe made on that stop where the guy fell down, it wouldn't turn, was loose, it was just terrible. And, it went 100 many laps without a yellow. And then with 30 laps to go, there was a caution, and that's when they came down for their last stop. And for some unknown reason, he started the tires low. And he kept telling them, work the tires harder. I got the tire pressures down. There's no way you're going to get those tire pressures up in a couple of laps of whipping a truck around. So he dropped the green, and he didn't have anything to fight with.
Well, that's a shame, but it still seems like Ty is right on the verge of winning his first one. It's coming, and I think he's saving it for a big occasion still to come this year. So keep your eyes open for Ty Majeski. By the way, Derek Kraus was in the race, ended up finishing 12th yesterday. They raced the Cup Series, of course, at Richmond. Kyle Larson will start on the pole with a lot of 1s and 7s, 117.177 to win the pole. But, guys, it's going to be a show today. I really believe that because that one car has been fastest in most practices in a 10-lap and a 20-lap average. Ed Chastain might just be the guy today.
Yeah, if he can finish one off, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's got a lot of people mad at him over at a short track. But Ed was talking about Larson winning the pole. He had to get out of it real quick and run to Knoxville and run the Knoxville Nationals last night. In fact, if he wouldn't have locked himself into the A main last night, there was no way he was going to run the Knoxville Nationals because they had qualifying so late. They qualified like at 5 o'clock Eastern time, I think it was, or just 4 o'clock Knoxville time. And then by the time he was done, he had to jump on, I think Justin Marks gave him a plane to get him over there, and a couple other guys went with him to go make hot laps in time to make the A main, and he finished, 5th or 6th, I think, last night.
Well, it's so lucky that, A main didn't start till 11 o'clock?
Right. That's pretty normal for Knoxville. That's how they operate there. They always run it because of the way the sun is set up there. But yeah, if he wouldn't have locked himself in, it would have been tight. I don't think he would have made it, especially with him making the second round of qualifying for the Cup Series. If he wouldn't have made it through the first round of qualifying there, he might have had a better shot. But he said in one of his interviews that he had been worrying about this like all year. Once he saw the schedule came out and he saw when Richmond was having qualifying, he was like, "Oh no, this is going to mess the whole thing up," And he was worried about it all the way up until the time he locked himself in, and then he knew he'd probably be all right.
Boy, he could not have had a lot of sleep. What couple of hours? What time did they finish up out there, Brian?
Well, the race today doesn't start till 3 o'clock Eastern time, and they were done a little after midnight or something like that. So he's going to get a lot more sleep this weekend than he did a couple weeks ago when he was in Illinois, and he had to actually drive back and forth from the racetrack. So he'll be fine there. And he did not have to race on Friday night in Knoxville. So he raced Thursday. So he had a full day of rest.
You mean at Indy when he zoned up?
Yeah, right, exactly. Yes.
And then shredded a right rear tire and put him in the back, and it was fun watching him come from the back all the way up to 6th.
Yeah, he's showing itself, that's for sure. Let's just say there's a pretty good chance he's sleeping right now, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's 11 o'clock out there. Don't you have to go visit with sponsors? No, they don't have sponsors on that 5-car too much. That's right. Well, either way, he's going to be the guy, one of the guys today. Kyle Larson starting on the pole. And it's turning out to be a really, really interesting last 3 races between Richmond, Watkins Glen, and Daytona because with a new winner again last week, which we'll talk about in a little bit, there is one open spot. 15 out of 16 in the playoff seeding have wins right now. Kurt Busch is 15th in the seeding, and he should be okay unless we have 2 more new winners out of the last 3 races. And then even though Kurt Busch is a winner this year, he could find himself out of a playoff spot, believe it or not. Who would have thought that we would have had this many winners, different winners, new winners, young winners, old winners. At this point of the season, this car has exceeded all expectations just because it just threw the X factor into every single race, and it sure has been fun to watch. Hey, it wouldn't be beyond the realm that we would all imagine that Ty Gibbs would pull one out and win it. He in the playoffs. He isn't in the top 30 in the points. He's not eligible, but it's not beyond the realm to think that this kid might actually do it.
Truex, yeah. And then they asked Kyle Busch, is there a Joe Gibbs plan to get Truex a win? In other words, you're going to do everything you can to get that 19 car in. And his response was great. He said, it's a dumb question. It's Richmond, and I got an itch.
Remember that one? I got an itch. LTN will return. Hang in there with us.
The Fanatec GT World Challenge weekend at Elkhart Lakes Road America, August 19th through the 21st. Showcases exotic, high-speed sports cars from global luxury leaders. Bring the entire family. Kids 16 and under are free with a paying adult. Tickets at roadamerica.com.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship-winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com. The summer heat is on, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
The tradition, the dirt, the thrill. Let's go racing! Plymouth Dirt Track Racing. This Saturday night, the action is back at the Sheboygan County Fairgrounds. It's a full racing program featuring 360 sprints, late models, Grand Nationals, and B-Mods. Gates open at 4:30, opening ceremonies at 6. Tickets are $18 for adults, students $10, and kids under 11 free with paying adults. Plymouth Dirt Track Racing. Details at PlymouthDTR.com.
Fly your team flag.
Down he goes, another sack.
Queue up, jump around, and rep your Cardinal and White Bucky gear.
He's going all the way.
It's Badger football.
Touchdown, Wisconsin.
On the Big 920 in your iHeartRadio app.
Welcome back to LTN. Today's race will be televised on USA. The green flag is at 2:17 this afternoon, but coverage begins right here on the Big 920 at 1 p.m. We're looking at temperatures in the 80s with a 10% chance of showers today. So, Brian, help me with something that I'm a little bit confused, and it doesn't take much to confuse me at this ripe old age I'm at. We have two different sets of points. One is the seeding for the playoffs, and the other one is the actual cup points. How do the two interrelate, and are the cup points even important anymore?
Well, they are. I mean, they are because the point standings, the actual cup point standings, the ones they're using right now, are the ones that are going to determine the top 16 if you do not have a win. But the ironic part about it right now is if you look at it, Ryan Blaney is sitting second in points. He's 119 points behind Chase Elliott, but he does not have a win. So he would be on the outside looking in if the playoffs were, or he'd be the last one in right now. Martin Truex Jr. is fourth in points. He's 138 behind the leader, Chase Elliott. He's on the outside looking in if the playoffs were to start now. So one way or the other, unless those two are able to pick up a win here, one of those two who are in the top 5 in the points will not be making the playoffs when they reset it. Now, the playoff seeding is what they do when they reseed it, when they take all your wins into account, all your playoff points into account, and they reset the field. That has Ross Chastain second right now because of the amount of playoff points he has. You add them onto your 2,000 when they reset everybody at 2,000, you go from there.
So it's the only one that's really very important, right?
Well, no, I mean, right now the regular one is because unless we get 16 winners, somebody's going to make it in on points. So right now we have 15 winners, so the 16th person right now is Ryan Blaney, who is really second overall in the point standings. If there were no playoff system or nothing like that right now, Ryan Blaney would be sitting second in points. Truex would be sitting fourth in points. So
and the
that goes to
magic
show all the
number
winners.
is 19, right?
Yeah, right. And then on the flip side of that, you got your guys on the, Kurt Busch hasn't raced now in a couple weeks, so he's sitting 20th in points. Still 20th in points, believe it or not, after missing 3 races. That goes to show how subpar the cars below him really are. So he would be, if we are able to get a couple more winners, and you start bumping out the lowest point guy with a win, Kurt Busch would be the first one bumped out of there. And then Denny Hamlin would be the second one bumped out of there. So if we were able to get new winners here now for the next 3 weeks, Denny Hamlin would be on the outside looking in because he's 17th in points right now.
Jeez.
Crazy to think, isn't it?
Yeah, 19
and he's got 2
positions.
wins.
Ryan Blaney is 19 positions or points ahead of Martin Truex for that one and only spot that is out there for a guy without a win. And like Brian just said, all we need is one more winner, and everything's going to be a little bit topsy-turvy.
Hamlin's down in the points because of that piece of tape. I mean, he lost a bunch of points in that deal at Pocono.
So, I mean, I guess the part to think is he's got 2 wins, but he's 17th in points, and we'd have to get some clarification from NASCAR on that. Do they bump out a guy with only 1 win, or do they bump out the lowest guy in the points even though he's got 2 wins? Because his penalty is what put him way back there. Austin Cindric only has 1 win, but he's higher in the points than Denny Hamlin. I haven't heard any clarification on NASCAR from that. I'm assuming they go straight up by how the points stand. If they do, you're going to take a 2-win guy out and keep a 1-win guy in. But that's what penalties are all about. So I don't know what how that actually falls as far as how the point system goes for NASCAR. But if I understand how they have it, I think that's how it goes, but I could be wrong.
Ed, last page in the rule book, Ed.
EIRI.
EIRI, except in rare instances, and that would qualify as a rare instance. Speaking of rare instances, these days it's a pretty rare instance when Kevin Harvick wins a NASCAR race, and I'll be damned, but he won it last week at Michigan, holding off a tearful Bubba. What was up with Bubba Wallace and all that crying because he didn't win the race? Is that what that was?
Well, that's true, but you got to remember Harvick nutritioned his way, as Turco would say, to the win because his top 4 competitors had problems.
If anybody hasn't noticed, Bubba Wallace has been running a lot better, and he has actually put himself into, careful now, a threat to win. I mean, really, he has. He's been, while we've been looking the other way, apparently he's got that program is turning around and helping. And you can't help but think that Kurt Busch's presence over there has helped, even though Kurt Busch isn't even racing right now. Ty is, and Ty Gibbs, for a newcomer, just a couple of laps in these cars, a couple of races under his belt, certainly is doing himself just fine. I think he's going to be just great by the time he takes over the 19 car after next season, if that's exactly what happens. But, so what's up? Is it finally Bubba time? Is he got this thing to where he can win on a weekly basis?
Well, that's where they're at. I mean, they rattle off a couple of top 10s in a row. That's how you do it. You consistently run up front, and eventually the wins come. That's why that race last week for him was a perfect race. I mean, granted, they didn't get the win. He got beat in a restart, and Kevin Harvick beat him. He finished second, but he had a good race. And I was kind of disappointed.
But he was in position.
Right, and I was kind of disappointed in an interview like that because don't act like it's your last chance you're going to get at this. And you guys have rattled off a couple here in the weeks. This is what this is what you're supposed to do, and you're finally putting it all together to be consistently up front. That's what it is. So they don't act like it's the end of the world because you finished second. I mean, look at the big picture here. Which I guess came into play this week because they signed him to an extension. He's going to be in that car for a couple of years now.
Yeah, all they said was it was a multi-year extension. This is absolutely no surprise. He's got 3 or 4 pretty decent sponsors on that car. So he wasn't going anywhere. You get the feeling NASCAR would have made sure that he stayed in that car one way or the other because he is so dearly needed in the national sports scene for him to have a decent ride. And but good for him. I believe that he's earned the damn thing of all things. He's looking better. Things are turning around. Now we just got to get his attitude to where, act like you've been there before. You're on the way up, not on the way down. Jeez. I'll be right back.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit BonafideSafe.com.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
The cars and stars of the ARCA Menards Series return to the Milwaukee Mile for the Sprecher 150. Sunday, August 28th. The best of the best race for 150 laps, plus the Big 8 late models and the Upper Midwest Vintage Series. It all begins with qualifying at 11:30 and racing at noon. Save big money on discounted tickets at Menards and visit TrackEnterprises.com for more info. It's the ARCA Menards Series and 2 other classes. Sunday, August 28th at the Milwaukee Mile. Be there!
Keep listening for your next chance to win $1,000 and a trip to our 2022 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Listen for the keyword to win weekdays 9, 1, and 5 from the Big 920.
Well, thanks to our contributor, Aaron Baird. He put up on Facebook, he put up an explanation from Bob Pockris. Brian, the way it looks to me, if the winner of the regular season points did not even have one win, he would still make it into the playoffs. At least that's the way it looks.
Yeah, that's how I read it, too. So if Ryan Blaney can make up the 119-point difference without a win that he has to Chase Elliott, which is highly unlikely, then he would be in, and then the 15 drivers based on the number of wins would be out. So Denny Hamlin is safe under this scenario because he's got the 2 wins. Then they bump him off by where they are with the amount of wins. So it's Austin Cindric and Alex Bowman that are on the bottom with only 1 win. So it's as clear as fog.
Yeah, well, we just have to keep all this in. Boy, there's been some major signings this week. We're starting next week's driver lineup is starting to take better shape. Noah Gregson has been named the new driver of Richard Petty's number 42 car for next year. I guess you can't really take a lot away from the amount of talent the young man has. Now you just got to get his head screwed on straight. And, maybe this is the perfect place for him to go to be talked to by the king on occasion here, right?
I guess we'll see. I mean, he's been around the Xfinity Series. He's won in there, and that I just never he never really met my expectations. I always thought he had a huge leash. Like they always gave him a longer leash than other people had, but he seems to be around and he wins, and now he'll be in the Cup Series in the 42. We'll see. Just please stop puking in your helmet. That's getting old.
Daniel Suarez is, quote, close to re-signing with Trackhouse. I really can't imagine that Daniel Suarez is going anywhere else. Nobody else is fighting to get the guy. He's doing a pretty damn good job with Trackhouse. He's in the playoffs. They must just be fighting it over money right now. That's all it has to be.
Worried
about.
I mean, I don't know what it would be. You'd wonder. You know, I mean, there was a Chevy team that was supposedly out there in the Kyle Busch mix. I mean, is there any truth to that? I mean, is he in the weeds maybe thinking? I mean, could they move Suarez out for Kyle Busch? I don't know. I mean, he's been moved out before at Gibbs kind of the same way.
It seems to me unlikely that would happen for several reasons, but not the least of which, pretty good job in that car and doesn't deserve to be replaced.
Right.
So,
I mean, I'm just going off. There's been a rumor out there that a Chevy team had entered the discussion for Kyle Busch. I mean, what Chevy team would it be? Is it Colleague? I don't know. I mean, Trackhouse is probably your top Chevy team right now in performance.
And Trackhouse, is not beyond them to go out and buy another one of these charters. My God, the last charter price that we heard of was the one for the 45 car that Denny Hamlin and MJ paid $13.5 million for that charter. And right now the rumored price for a charter that may or may not even be, it's about availability too, is around $20 million. Now, it's not like Michael Jordan would have a problem coming up with $20 million. In fact, between the two of them over there, I mean, Hamlin's got the pretty nice, he's got some money in the bank himself. I don't think it would be impossible for them to add another car.
Would you pay $20 million? Is that going to stay worth $20 million? I mean, it's worth there now. Is that the true value of this, or is it way overinflated? I mean, say in 5 years from now, are you still going to get your $20 million back for that? Probably not.
Yeah, do we even know what owning a charter, what some of the hard numbers are of what these guys make on a race by race basis? The car owners.
Not right now. We don't know.
Yeah, nothing's been really published. All we can do is assume, but it's got to be some pretty decent numbers all the way around. You would think, or why would they even be talking about spending that kind of money for a charter? So it just blows me away.
The big money days are gone. I mean, when Matt Kenseth was probably the last one to leave that, like $12 million, $13 million a year. Now we're looking at drivers for $6 million. Kyle Busch is going to have to take a big cut in pay to come down as the last big money driver. Denny Hamlin is still up there because of FedEx, but these are the couple, along with Harvick, that are going to re-sign for millions less than they've been driving for in the past.
Which reminds me, the purse for the Cup race is $7,145,000. The truck payout for their race yesterday was about $745,000 total for the entire purse for the race. So if you wonder why it's so important to get into the big show, money is at the top of the list. It's the major leagues, baby. This is the show, and that's where all the money is. So, but it's interesting.
You got to wonder too is on those charters they have the performance deal. The bottom three. Remember, if you're in the bottom three, performance-wise, for 3 years in a row, your charter can be up for grabs. I wonder
who's danger right now, Dan?
I don't know. I have to look and see in that because it's usually a shell game. I mean, they usually will sell one and buy a higher one and sell the one that was lower to somebody else that probably won't finish in the bottom three. But it's got to be maybe that shell game is going to have to come to an end here if they're going for $20 million a piece. I mean, it's going to be hard to sell charters that way and play that game. So I wonder who's in the bottom three right now and if there's anyone there that's in danger of getting lost. I know the Rick Ware ones are always the ones that were down there. There's always one of theirs that was always kind of up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure that stands right.
Live Fast one, that's BJ McLeod. I think there's a charter on that one. That one doesn't perform real well either over the last couple of years.
And 36 seems to be the new magic number as to the number of Cup teams they want, Cup drivers they want, is 36. I mean, like Formula One, it's 24. That's it. No matter what, it's 24. But them guys are making $100 million a year.
Yeah,
they're the only series that pays that kind of money with a race car. I mean, IndyCar guys make peanuts compared to what a Cup driver makes.
If you look at the owner points right now, you got Spire at 32nd, Rick Ware 33rd, another Spire at 34th, Rick Ware at 35th, and Live Fast at 36th. Those are the bottom points right now for the owner points, which the charter is attached to that owner.
It's a shell game, just like Dan said. You move it around, and you're never really sure who's going to end up with it. And they skirt the rules that way, which, good for them. It's the American way. Let's do it this way, and we'll figure out a way to get that car in the show every week. And remember, like Ed said, they want 36, but they allow 40. They just don't pay very much for those bottom four. We'll be back.
The Fanatec GT World Challenge weekend at Elkhart Lakes Road America, August 19th through the 21st. Showcases exotic, high-speed sports cars from global luxury leaders. Bring the entire family. Kids 16 and under are free with a paying adult. Tickets at roadamerica.com.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit BonafideSafe.com.
The Cars and Stars of the ARCA Menard Series return to the Milwaukee Mile for the Sprecher 150. Sunday, August 28th, the best of the best race for 150 laps, plus the Big 8 late models and the Upper Midwest Vintage Series. It all begins with qualifying at 11:30 and racing at noon. Save big money on discounted tickets at Menards and visit TrackEnterprises.com for more info. It's the ARCA Menard Series and 2 other classes, Sunday, August 28th at the Milwaukee Mile. Be there!
The Nascar Cup Series.
Got a great crowd here today at the Richmond Raceway.
Regular season is winding down.
Denny Hamlin is on the back bumper. Question is, where will the move come? Here's Byron to the back straightaway.
With only 3 races before the playoffs.
The streak has been broken. Denny Hamlin sees the checkered flag.
It's the Federated Auto Parts 400.
Coverage starts at 1 Sunday afternoon on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
We had 5 cars fail pre-qualifying inspection twice, including the 6 and 17 cars of Roush freaking Keselowski Racing, plus 2 colleague cars, the 16 and the 31 cars, plus Gilliland's front row 38 car, all failed pre-qualifying inspection. That means a couple things. They lose a crew guy. Don't they? Do they get to choose which guy is out?
I think
that's
NASCAR choose, or do they? I thought NASCAR chose.
That's interesting. Also, they they couldn't get in line to pick their pits. They have to take the last 5 that are left after everybody else picks, which is that's a definite disadvantage, but not enough to lose you the race. If you got a car that can win, I think you can win from any pit position. But
none of those are a threat.
No, they're not. Keselowski, to his God bless him, he thinks that they're going to win a race yet this year and put themselves in the playoff. I suppose that's the attitude. Hey, you just won, man. Well, how come the long face? You really have to have an attitude that we're going to get in the playoffs because we're going to win a race. Damn it, we're going to go out and do it today, and good for you. Harvick had been having that attitude for a while, and I'll be darned, but he finally did it. Ed, what put Harvick over the top? Just right place, right time, perseverance finally worked for him?
Right. Like I say, the 4 top competitors, White Brian, they didn't make it to the end.
Right,
Ed,
yeah.
You're not eating a donut, are you?
No, right. I mean, the Trackhouse cars were probably the best cars last week, and then they got hung a lap down, and then Chastain got involved with a wreck with Bell, because Bell was one of the top cars out there, and then Denny Hamlin had a pit penalty that put him to the back, which for the 31st time this year. So that put Harvick, right there, and then on the restart, Bubba got racing with the other guy, and Harvick got away, and that was the key to that race at Michigan. Air is such a big factor there. Once Harvick got out in clean air, you weren't catching him unless there was a caution. And they tried their darndest to have a caution there at the end, and to NASCAR's credit, they didn't throw it.
Yeah, how about that? The NASCAR painted themselves into the corner where, every week it's almost laughably predictable. There's going to be a caution so that they can bunch the field up and have a photo finish and headlines. And, after the All-Star race at Texas, where it was such a joke that they threw that caution late in the race, I think they finally got their heads out of their behinds and said, all right, we can't just do this all the time. Even though a caution last week for a car that was sputtering around and would have been the perfect excuse for caution, they didn't do it. And because can you imagine if Bubba Wallace had passed Harvick, then NASCAR would have been listening to, you only did it because it was a black guy. All week long, they would have had to answer the wrong questions, and they stayed out of it. That car did not create a problem. They did not need a caution or a dramatic finish, and I'll be darned, but Kevin Harvick won the race. I was blown away, guys. I thought, here comes the caution that NASCAR has been waiting for all day long.
They changed that. They changed that right after that bad call where one person had their finger on a button. Now they have a committee of 3 people who vote as to go caution or not.
That's
so
right.
There's a little more input on these late cautions.
That's right.
We
now have
one
it.
Of the 3.
We now have it where they vote. So all hell's breaking loose on the track. Oh, all in favor say aye. Aye. All right.
One of the button. 3, you know it. One of the 3 said, but it's Bubba. know that happened.
I'm glad they held it. I mean, there was an opportunity to throw it if they wanted to there because there was a car with a problem. I'd like to keep it this way where we don't automatically throw late race caution just to get that out of our minds. We shouldn't even be thinking about that, oh, here comes a caution. It shouldn't even be on our minds. I mean, let the race play out, and if something happens and there's a wreck, okay, there's a yellow. But I agree, for every minor little thing, a car brushing the wall shouldn't dictate it.
Oh, yeah. And I'm not the only one in this world that thought, oh, my God, here comes a caution so Bubba can win. And they did do it. Well, good for them. I mean, if the guy is going to create a safety problem, it's a no-brainer to throw the caution late in the race. But they always use that for an excuse in the past, and they're finally changing their ways. Hey, guys, what was all going on? I mean, Christopher Bell had a car that could have won last week. So did Chastain, and I guess both drivers were talking about it this week. Dan, I don't know if you saw that, but Bell said, Chastain's reputation. I had to consider his reputation. What the hell was that all about?
He's telling the truth.
Yeah, they just ran the room. I mean, it was Ross is going to race you hard. I mean, he's got that reputation now. He's going to be a hard guy to pass. He's going to race you hard too. So, I mean, that's what happened there. I mean, both guys going for the same spot and they wrecked, and neither guy backed off. And you got to, I guess, know who you're racing with. You got to know if I go outside this guy, he's not going to come in your room. He's not going to back off. And then you got to know the other way too, who's coming up behind you.
I don't know if Bill said I backed off several times.
And he's not apologizing for it at all in his interviews.
No, and I don't know.
Chastain, no.
I don't think you could really pin that one on Ross either. I mean, Ross was going to the outside. Bell's spotter needs to say he's coming outside, and Bell just shut the door and put himself in the wall. So, all the stuff they want to paint Ross Chain as a villain, that wreck there, I would put more on Bell and Bell's spotter than on Ross. Ross was just going for a spot that was open, and Bell wrecked himself.
Do you think Christopher Bell in the back of his mind, it's Ross Chastain, everybody's mad at him, I'm just going to...
Yeah, and it didn't work. That failed miserably on him.
Yeah, interesting. Why would you blame somebody's reputation? I backed off enough. I backed off every single time I've been in that situation. Well, that means you were smart because the one time you didn't back off, look what happened. Come on. You got to think of the big picture. I don't know. Yeah. To finish first, you must first finish. That's from Chapter 1 of the Dick Trickle Playbook. Thank you. And that's the way that works. Gentlemen, this has been a pretty interesting week with all these signings. Sam Mayer has re-signed with JR Motorsports for another year. Good for him. Good for them. Sam needs another year. to get that thing straightened out. You can see the talent. You know he's going to be around for many, many years, but, another year in the Xfinity world of good.
Big question
champion.
Is,
go ahead.
Big question is going to be who's going to take over for Gregson in the 9 car there on the Xfinity side. That's pretty rad.
Interesting. Yeah, there's always that. SRX champion and former Slinger winner Marco Andretti is going to race in the Xfinity Series in Scott Borchetta's number 48 car. That's at the Charlotte Roval coming up, too. So we got some results for you. We'd like you to hang around for that right after these.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
The Fanatec GT World Challenge weekend at Elkhart Lakes Road America, August 19th through the 21st, showcases exotic high-speed sports cars from global luxury leaders. Bring the entire family. Kids 16 and under are free with a paying adult. Tickets at roadamerica.com.
The summer heat is on, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800. Or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
New Richmond track president Lori Collier-Warren joined the show this week.
Overwhelming the best way possible. I mean, it's an incredible opportunity, and I cannot wait to see the first campers arrive. I can't wait to hear the excitement from the fans. I'm so excited about it. It's going to be thrilling. I can't wait.
There's much more waiting for you each week on NASCAR Live.
Every Tuesday night at 6 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
And now the LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
Huge week of racing going on this week on the dirt side. We'll start Monday in Oskaloosa, Iowa, which was the epicenter of sprint car racing this week. At the Southern Iowa Speedway, the Sage Fruit Front Row Challenge for the 410 sprint cars, the prelude to the Knoxville Nationals. 54 sprint cars were there, I believe, and Kyle Larson picked up the big money on Monday night. Also Monday night up in Superior, Wisconsin, the Gondik Law Speedway, the XR Super Series for super late models. $20,000 to win up there. Shane Clanton was your winner on Monday night. And the Wissota Mods, Brandon Kopp was your winner. Tuesday night over at Eagle River, Wisconsin, the limited late model feature winner was Jason Zdroik. The stock cars was David Blackberg. Up at Superior, night number 2 for the XR Super Series. $20,000 to win again. Chris Madden was your winner there. Wednesday night, the opening night of the 61st Knoxville Nationals. 53 cars as they split the field in half run Wednesday, half run Thursday. For their preliminary night, Logan Schuchart was the feature winner on Wednesday. They did it again Thursday night with another 53 cars. And Jacob Allen was your winner there. So the Shark Motorsports cars won both the preliminary nights at Knoxville. That was interesting to see. Friday night, the Dwayne Mader 55 in Menominee, also Jim Falls and Seymour, they all rained out. They did race at Chilton, Gravity Park Speedway, and the mod, Steve Schneider was your winner. Stock cars, Mitch Meyer, and the Grand Nationals was T.J. Smith. Over in Davenport, Iowa, the Lucas Oil MLRA Series was there for $5,000 to win. Spencer Dirk picked up his first MLRA feature win there. Paducah, Kentucky, the USA 50 for super late models, $10,000 to win. Tanner English was your winner. Union, Kentucky, the Florence Speedway, the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series 39th Annual North-South 100. The preliminary night, they divided the field up into two. They had two 5,000-win preliminary features. Hudson O'Neill won one of them. Jonathan Davenport won the other one. Knoxville, Iowa, Friday night, the 61st Knoxville Nationals, the Hard Knocks night. So all the cars that did not, they have 16 cars locked into the A main through the preliminary nights, and another 10 were locked into a B main. Everybody else ran again on Friday night to see where they were at, and Rico Abreu picked up the feature win there, locking himself into Saturday night's big show. Also Friday night in Kansas City, Kansas, the Lakeside Speedway, the USMTS Modifieds Grant Younghans Memorial, $20,002 a win for the Modifieds. Tanner Mullins was your winner there. Last night we had rainouts in Plymouth, Shawano, and 141. They did race at Beaver Dam, and the Modifieds Mike Mullen was your winner, and the Grand Nationals was Justin Pearson. Up at New Richmond, Wisconsin, Cedar Lake Speedway, Calvin Iverson won in the Modifieds. The Limited Late Models was Justin Sass. Rice Lake, the Wissota Late Models were there. Jimmy Mars was your winner, and the Wissota Modifieds went to Joe Chaplin Jr. Over at Ashland, Wissota Modifieds, Brandon Kopp was your winner. Odessa, Missouri, the I-70 Motorsports Park for the USMTS Modifieds, $10,000 to win. Rodney Sanders was your winner. Maryville, Indiana, the Shady Hill Speedway for the Mars Dirt Car Super Late Model Series, $5,000 to win. That went to Jason Fager. Union, Kentucky, the 39th Annual North-South 100, $75,000 to win. That feature for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, and when there's big money on the line, Jonathan Davenport usually wins, and he did. He added another $75,000 to his bank account, dominating that race last night. That's two big crown jewels in a row because he won at Cedar Lake last week. So his
led every lap.
Yep, his bank account is filling up, and it was a no-doubter last night. And finally, Knoxville, Iowa, we talked about it later, but the 61st Knoxville Nationals, $175,000 to win, $10,000 to start, and Donnie Schatz picked up the win. He passed David Gravel with I think there's about 5 or 6 laps to go to get the win there. David Gravel finished second. Logan Schuhart was third. Both Scotty Thiel and Bill Balog from Wisconsin here went down there. Struggled a little bit. They made it up to the C main last night before they bowed out and did not transfer. So over the I think there was like 110 cars or 112 cars there. So to get to the C main, nothing to hang your head about because there's a lot of stiff competition there. But an absolute full house. If you saw any video from Knoxville, every single seat was full. The infield was absolutely packed. That was an unbelievable event down there this past weekend, and they sold all the tickets. That's good to see.
Oh, yeah. That's short track racing is back, that's for sure. The world of asphalt racing starting Wednesday. It was the Battle at Berlin 251. I think it was supposed to be a 250, wasn't it? Interesting. Evan Shotko was your winner. You say to yourself, where do I know that name from? I don't know that we do. Danny seems like a new name on the national scene, isn't it?
He's been running at Berlin for quite a while. He's one of the regulars down there. He's kind of like the hot shoe down there. Kind of like, know, Steve Apel to Slinger is Evan Shotko to Berlin. So the local guy took the cash. That's pretty cool.
Is he a quickie development guy? I thought I saw that logo on the side.
He was a finalist. But didn't. I don't think he made the final cut. He was one of the guys in the top 15, the final 15 anyway. William Byron was there, who stunk the show up the first time they raced at Berlin. He ended up second. Bubba Pollard was eighth. Eric Jones, who has won it in the past, was ninth. And Ty Majeski blew the engine up, finished 20th. Thursday night at State Park Speedway in Wausau, Justin Mondyke won up there again. At Wisconsin International Raceway, they had the blue race. Dalton Zier won in the super late models and was crowned champion. And in the pro late models, it was Chase Randerson, your winner. Brian Monday was the overall champion in the late models for the the red, white, and blue series. Friday night at Golden Sands Speedway, it was rained out. Madison, they had what they called the Cheese Curd Cup, the Midwest Dash Series. Kyle Stark was your winner. Hobby Stocks, Brandon Riedner, and in the Legends, it was Andrew Borntrager. Let's see.
How about the Bandoleros? Hey, who won the Bandoleros at Madison?
Bandoleros. Penn Sauter won it. Didn't he start 18th, Dan?
Yeah, from the back all the way through the field. Pretty cool.
And in honor of his grandpa, who was so very, very proud of him, and who had his funeral this week. Good for Penn Sauter. It's a pretty neat thing. The Cars Tour ran at the Ace Speedway in North Carolina. William Sawalich won it. Luke Fenhouse finished second. Of course, Sawalich he's from Minnesota, but he races around our parts. And there's a name you're going to see. It seems like he like burst onto the scene, and he's been very, very impressive. The CRA and Car Series had a combined event at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Sammy Smith, who raced earlier this year at Slinger Speedway, won that one. And let's see, last night right here at Dell's Raceway Park, they had what was supposed to be the Badger State 150, which was twin 75-lap super late model features. It was really weird. The air was 100% saturated. It kind of like everything was wet without it raining. The track, they kept cars on the track as much as they could to keep heat in it, to keep it dry. They managed to get in there were supposed to be twin features for most divisions. The Super Late's not the only one, but Casey Johnson was your winner in the Super Late Model 75-lapper. The second one was weathered out. I'd call it rained out, but it never really rained. It was really odd. Mike Winters won in the 602 Late Models, making me wonder where the hell was Dennis Prunty. And in the Mid-Am Series, Ron Vandermeer Jr. was the winner. At La Crosse, they finished the feature from a week ago and then had twin features on top of that. So 3 winners. Brent Kirchner won it from last week, and Michael Hager and Mike Carlson won it from this week. And at Rockford Speedway in the NASCAR late models, Jake Guiley was your winner. Last week, the Slinger Super Speedway's Alan Kowicki Memorial Race was rained out, as you know, and that will be part of the Carl Wegner Memorial now on August the 28th. The next time the Super Lates are there, it's going to be the Alan Kowicki 77-lapper plus the Carl Wegner Memorial, plus the Wall of Fame candidates are going to be put up on the wall that night too. So quite a big night coming for August 28th. However, tonight at the Slinger Super Speedway, it's going to be late models taking center stage for us. The sportsmen, sportsmen are going to be there, modified, Slinger Bs, figure eights, and it's a Memorial Kart night tonight, too, at Slinger Speedway. A very busy night at Slinger Speedway tonight. And seems like a good time to sneak away. We'll be back.
The Fanatec GT World Challenge weekend at Elkhart Lakes Road America, August 19th through the 21st. Showcases exotic, high-speed sports cars from global luxury leaders. Bring the entire family. Kids 16 and under are free with a paying adult. Tickets at roadamerica.com.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship-winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
The tradition, the dirt, the thrill. Let's go racing! Plymouth Dirt Track Racing. This Saturday night, the action is back at the Sheboygan County Fairgrounds. It's a full racing program featuring 360 sprints, late models, Grand Nationals, and B-Mods. Gates open at 4:30, opening ceremonies at 6. Tickets are $18 for adults, students $10, and kids under 11 free with paying adults. Plymouth Dirt Track Racing. Details at PlymouthDTR.com.
Talking Golf is on the air. This is Paul Brown inviting you to join Dennis Tiziani, Steve Stricker, Gary D'Amato, and me as we take you inside the ropes of the PGA Tour. Plus, Gary will have the latest golf news from the Badger State and beyond. And Dennis will have updates for golfers on the renovation of the golf course and clubhouse at Cherokee. That's Talking Golf, Monday night at 6 p.m. on the big 920 Milwaukee Sports Station.
With apologies, Stephen Schill won the feature at Jefferson Speedway. Sorry about not throwing that in, and thanks, Dan. A reminder that the LTN podcast is available on all major platforms, including iHeart and iTunes. Download us if you miss the show, and you can listen to us anytime all week long. Gentlemen, as we all know, we're not very good at making picks for these things. Last week, I would remind you that all three of you took Toyotas to win. I am the only one to take the wrong Ford to win this last week that Kevin Harvick ended up winning. But today, it seems to me like it's going to be the Ross show. I don't know why. It's a 400 lapper. We've got segments at lap 70 and lap 230. I just can't imagine that a guy that has been as good as Chastain would lose today. Ed, who are you looking at?
Kyle Larson to make up for his defeat last night.
Dan?
I'm going 19, Martin Truex. He needs a win.
Oh, and using that as a recipe, I got a feeling I know what's coming here. Brian?
I'm going to take the 11. They're not going to screw up on the pits for once, and he's really good in his home state of Virginia there. So he's won at Richmond. I think he, it's a, they probably will screw up on pit road, but say they don't, then I would think he might be able to win.
I thought for sure you were going to take Ryan Blaney. He's good at this track, too. He's good at lots of tracks. He's just not had it go his way yet.
The record for the most different winners in a NASCAR season was 2001. It was 19.
Wow.
We have a long way to go yet. There's usually a couple non-playoff guys that win during the playoffs.
Here's who all won that year: Michael Waltrip, Steve Park, Jeff Gordon, Kevin Harvick, Dale Jarrett, Elliott Sadler, Bobby Hamilton, Rusty Wallace, Tony Stewart, Jeff Burton, Ricky Rudd, Bobby Labonte, Sterling Marlin, Ward Burton, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Ricky Craven, Tony McVeigh, Bill Elliott, and Robbie Gordon.
Got them all.
Wow. One. And let's see, Matt Kenseth wasn't on that list, was he?
No, he didn't win that year.
Huh. What year was he Rookie of the Year?
2000.
2000, and he did win that year. Huh. Imagine.
I was at that one. He won the 600. I was there for that.
Bobby Hamilton.
That was the year Robbie Gordon won at New Hampshire because of 9/11. They pushed that thing way back to like Thanksgiving weekend, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Friday of Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Brisk 35-degree race.
I think Bobby Hamilton perhaps won his one and only race out at Phoenix that year, too. Now that I heard Bobby Hamilton's name in there. Interesting stuff. Crazy stuff. Well, gentlemen, we're looking at Richmond is a wonderful track. I think most people will put this as high on their list of tracks to watch a race in NASCAR that we have. It could handle a 500-lap race, no problem, but they've made sure it's been 400. It's only a little over a 3-hour event. It's just a complete made-for-television series all the way around. What do you think? Is this like the perfect racetrack?
It depends, because sometimes you can get some real snoozers here because they long green flag runs where they don't, get a lot of, like last night's truck race here, the last half of that truck race, it didn't look like there was, I was watching two things at once, but every time I looked up at the ticker, none of the spots were moving. They just kind of didn't go anywhere the whole time. So, it's a neat layout. It's a good surface. The facility is beautiful. Hopefully they can have some decent racing there. That's going to be the key.
Yeah, but they got 3 seconds fall off on his tires, so strategy on pits is going to be interesting.
That's fantastic, isn't it, Ed?
It is. I like the old configuration with the metal guardrails. Remember that place, the old Fairgrounds?
.542. I remember that. Yeah. There were some horrendous wrecks with that guardrail, too, though.
Darrell Waltrip, after Dale Sr. sent him in the fence, that was one of the last races on that old configuration.
Joe Ruttman should have won, remember?
Ruttman, yeah.
Kyle Petty came from 5th to win it.
Dave Marcus won at that track one time. 1982, if I remember right. 40 years ago that was? God, that's fantastic. Well, thanks for making us a part of your Sunday morning. We do appreciate that, and it's important to us that did you guys download our fantastic little podcast and listen right here live on the Big 920. You make our day when you do it. Here's something we want everybody to remember. Real race cars have doors, even if they do climb in through the windows. Let's Talk NASCAR is produced and directed by Dangerous Dan Margetta, our in-house engineer, website coordinator, and king of the knobs, is that hangover. Losi, thanks to our contributors, Aaron Baird and Paul Reichert, for their fantastic involvement with this program. And we'll see you next week, everybody.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations via Skype. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.